flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Bellinger, who is almost, you almost couldn't get him out the first part of last year. Now he swings and lifts a high drive down the left field line. Moving laterally to his right is Dickerson into foul ground near the railing, reaches out and makes the catch, bumps into the railing.
There, they call him Big Red for obvious reasons. A graduate of Northwest High School in Texas, selected by the Dodgers in the third round, 16.
How about that opening day?
And how about that, 100 miles an hour for a strikeout.
For the Phillies were fourth.
Pablo looks like it's deep enough. Peterson is there. Heineman from third will come in, and the Giants score first on a sacrifice fly from Pablo Sandoval, and it's 1-0 San Francisco. Hernandez will try to even this game up, if not give the Dodgers a lead. This one a little blooper, it's going to drop. And the Dodgers' first run of 2020 comes thanks to a Seager double and a Kike Hernandez bloop single for an RBI. Bottom of the strike zone, Flores punched out, and the fourth strikeout for Dustin May.
No glove necessary.
Ferguson will go to second and get the out there, and now maybe in a rundown, and in fact in a rundown is Tyler Heineman. No tag made, throw back, double play, end of inning. Bad base running. You don't feel like the end is here already.
I would say around the 15 to 20 game mark. And again, it's
a base hit into left field. But Mookie is aboard. His first hit as a Dodger, single to left.
Number 35.
When Betts arrived at first base,
Slow roller, Betts coming home, sliding in, safe! Mookie Betts gets that left hand in, and that base running intelligence gives it a 2-1 Dodger lead.
Had a difficult summer camp, showed up a little bit late for various reasons, and is not with the everyday team. There's a knock for Kike Hernandez.
A big knock brings in two as Kike Hernandez picks up his third hit of the night. After the game, if you kind of go against the numbers, the shift was on, safe at second base as A.J. Pollock, and the Giants give up another run. I think the Reds, the White Sox, the Padres, deep into the left field corner. Kike Hernandez, it's gone. Home run for Hernandez, and what a night for Kike.
It finally happened. We got to see you in a Dodger uniform in a real game. You get the single and you want the ball. Why was that important for you?
It's just a new chapter in life. And that was the beginning, and looking for a lot more of those.
You have your sixth-hole hitter drives in 5. I know you've been a part of very talented teams in your past, but now that you get into a real game situation with this group of teammates, what do you think about?
I mean, it's just we're deep. The lineup is, deep, and it's just tough to really get through this lineup, without getting hit around a little bit. Cueto did a good job early, but we battled. We just battled and grinded through the whole day, and finally something clicked, and we were able to put up some runs.
Dustin May finds out 2 days ago he's probably going to start in place of Clayton Kershaw. That's big shoes to fill. What was your impression of him? I realize you're in the outfield, can't necessarily see what he's doing, but just his performance tonight.
He did amazing. I faced him not too long ago, so I knew kind of what he had and how he was going to use it. So he did an amazing job, on short notice, coming in, putting up a lot of zeros. He only gave up 1. I mean, you can't really ask for anything more, especially with the offense we have we should win a lot of games if you know they're only scoring one.
How would you describe the pulse of this team?
I mean, it's tough to describe. I mean, it's just everybody contributes. Everybody, you know, there's not one person that we're relying on. It's just we're just waiting, passing the baton back. I mean, our guys are going up, putting up zeros. We're scoring, you know, crooked numbers. It's just a full team effort. You can't ask for anything better than what we have here.
Last question from me, Mookie. What will you do with the ball?
To go up in my house. And like I said, it's a new chapter. You know, I'm super excited about what's to come, and you know, I'm glad that monkey's off my back.
Is there a certain feeling a player has when you step into the box and you end up with a 5 RBI night?
No, but it's a great feeling now.
I mean, what was it like for you tonight, your ability to capitalize in what seemingly was every situation?
I mean, first 2 ABs, it's first 3. It was, you know, get jammed and throw a grenade out there. Hopefully they land. And then from there, we started finding the barrel a little bit more. But no, it was a great night. I think it's something that I've put a lot of work in and, you know, try to stay consistent with not trying to do too much. And that's basically the approach that I took tonight. And it paid off. And hopefully I can have a few more of these days.
You say not trying to do too much. How difficult is it as a player trying to trust in the process versus trusting or focusing on the result? Focus on the process versus the result.
Yeah, it can get tough, especially for me. I mean, I have a quick bat, and every time I swing, it kind of looks like it's max effort. So I got to constantly remind myself to slow down. Yeah, it's a very strange season, and it's something that I thought about a lot throughout the quarantine and going into summer camp, and you know, just remind yourself not to do too much. You don't have to do too much to be able to drive the baseball with authority. And tonight I drove the baseball with a lot of authority. The first 2 ABs got jammed. They threw a grenade. Grass might not grow again in those 2 spots. But yeah, it was a great night overall. Pitching did a great job. May kept us in the game early, and then the relievers came in and shut the door. So it was a pretty good night overall.
Yeah, you mentioned Dustin May, and this is a young man, 22 years old, that found out 2 days ago he was going to be starting on opening day potentially in the place of Clayton Kershaw. How impressed are you with his ability to seem unflappable, as Dave Roberts describes it, in a big situation?
I mean, it's huge. Obviously, he kept his composure. He wasn't nervous or intimidated by the amount of cardboards that we had in the stands. And he was pounding the strike zone. He was pounding the strike zone with all his pitches. I think it was around the 3rd inning that I looked up at the pitch count, and he had thrown like 6 balls. And I think that's what's the most impressive part about it is his ability to throw strikes tonight. You know, he throws really hard. His ball moves a lot. So sometimes it's not that easy to have good command of your pitches when your ball is just moving that much. And tonight he was just executing. He had a great game plan going on with Barnesy and kept him off balance all night. And, you know, he kept us in the game, like I said. And Fergie and AK and Gratterall, Petey, they all came in and did a great job.
You know, you find out yesterday, Dustin, that have a possibility of starting this game. It goes from number 22, who's a Hall of Famer, to a 22-year-old and yourself with a tremendous right arm. You performed incredibly well in this outing today. What do you take away from it?
For me, it was just nice to get the first one under the belt. I mean, starting the season, it was great. I mean, it was awesome to get the nod to come in and throw. I mean, it's kind of the thing you dream about growing up is throwing on opening day. It's kind of like a debut. I mean, it's a super exciting thing. But I mean, for me, it was just exciting, and I mean, it's great to get the ball going forward for sure.
It was exciting, but it didn't seem like the moment was too big for you. It almost seemed like the moment rose to you versus you rising to the moment. Were there jitters? What was going on in your head prior to taking the mound and throwing that first pitch?
No, I mean, for me, I was just anxious. just not being able to be in a game scenario since pretty much October. I mean, we've had inter squads, but I mean, it's not really the same as facing other opponents and having the stats matter at that point. But I mean, it was just the anxiousness of wanting to get started, and then once the first pitch was thrown, I was all good and ready to get going.
Yeah, it seemed like all business for you. I know that in this downtime and COVID period, whatever, you've been working on your breaking ball, the off-speed stuff, the changeup, the curveball. Where would you say you were at with that, and how did it play in tonight's outing?
No, I mean, I thought it played very well. I probably could have thrown more off-speed early, but I mean, for the most part, I was getting ahead. Guys were swinging, and they were very aggressive tonight. And I mean, I went into that knowing, and they just hit a few where they weren't. And I mean, for the most part, I was hitting my spots, and stuff was going the right way.
Did you have any conversations with teammates or with Roberts prior to taking the ball tonight?
No, just the conversations that we had yesterday. That was pretty much it. I didn't really talk to anybody this afternoon coming into the game. They kind of just let me do me before the game, and I was ready to go when the game started.